This will be far worse than you think. So, guys, the cyber pandemic is absolutely something coming. Some people call it a cyber pandemic. Some people will call it a cyber attack. Whatever you want to call it, it is definitely going to be something catastrophic. Again, nothing short of a nightmare. We have a lot of things that are nothing short of a nightmare headed our way. Now, the object of this video, or the talk on this video, is not to get anyone to panic, right? So again, we don't panic on this channel. That's for a bunch of bitches. Here we talk about all of the situations and anything that can happen, and we make sure that we're ready for whatever might happen. Now, obviously, guys, something's going to happen. We don't know what it's going to be. There's a million and one things on our plate as we speak. We have the threat of nuclear war. We have the moon moving away from us. We have the sun shutting down or going into its winter solar cycle, if I said that right. We got a million and one things. We got meteors passing by us too closely. We got people acting like savages. We got the world watching this election. A lot is going on. All right. With that, guys, there have been multiple cyber attacks over the last few years, some bigger than others. We are going to see something way worse than that. There was something in, I think, California just the other day where they shut down a lot of the ports, and something about boats not be able to get in and out of the ports. I didn't get to read the article. I just saw the headlines, and I'm like, great, something else going on. Now, a lot of these cyber pandemics or cyber attacks, guys, will start small. They'll start off as a glitch, and then they grow, right? We could see something on the scale of a nightmare. Something like the movie Leave the World Behind, where things got bad, and they just got bad over the next couple of days or however long the movie took. We will undoubtedly see something like that. It's just a matter of time. We are seeing things in smaller incidences, if you will, smaller cases, but when the grand show unfolds, things are going to get crazy, things are going to get out of control. Now, if it's as big as a lot of us think it's going to be, there's going to be a multitude of problems. We're going to see, let's just start at the top. Starvation, dehydration, because they could shut off the water. Medical treatment is going to be shut out. 911 system shut down. No one's going to be able to call for help on any level unless you run down to the street and get the cops, firemen, or EMT that happen to be passing by, because they will be patrolling the streets. Radio communications, telephone systems shut down. There'll be no way for you to communicate with anyone. We're going to talk about what to do a little later in regards to that. So many things. Again, treatments, prescription fill, getting your food. Food will probably run out within hours, not days, of a cyber attack. Some people say, oh, we got a few days. No, you don't. If a cyber attack goes in full-blown attack, you only have a couple of hours. If it takes days to reach its height, then you might have a couple of days. A day or two, rather, sorry. These are things, guys, that are just going to get bad, and you need to have a plan for all of this. You can't just look at one or two things and go, oh, we handle this, we handle that. You got to make sure you got all of it down. You got to make sure you got your plan written down. You got to make sure you have things for that plan, supplies for that plan, because supplies are going to stop. Basic supplies are going to stop. Forget, again, water might come through, it might not get treated. If the water system's hacked, the water could be bad. They could raise levels like they did in Florida a couple years ago to what they want to make the water bad so that you can't drink it and or die drinking it. Like I said, medical care is going to be compromised. Debts are going to go up undoubtedly. You're going to have to, again, figure out a way how to get past this. Now, for most preppers, we're ready for, I would say, 99% of the things that can happen. There is still that 1% curveball that can screw shit up. If this does happen, I think a lot of us, because we know this is going to happen, or we have a sense that it's going to, we're ready for it. So we're not going to flip out. We're not going to be like, oh my God, cyber attack, cyber pandemic. Now, cyber pandemic is a cyber attack, guys, that, and I should have mentioned this earlier, if I'm not mistaken, it's a cyber attack that affects multiple systems across different systems, if that makes sense, right? So again, you're going to have the water system attack. You're going to have the medical care system attack, 9/11, communications, airline industry. All of it's going to be attacked over different times, and it just sweeps through the nation or country or world, however it unfolds. It can unfold just here in the United States, or it could be on a global scale, right? So a cyber pandemic is just a multitude of attacks, sort of like the movie Die Hard, or was it Die Hard with Vengeance, or Live Free or Die Hard, where there was a fire sale and everything was being shut down systematically over the course of the movie. Something like that can absolutely happen. Now, that was always a theory back in the days with hackers. They always used to theorize about something called a fire sale. And the movie Live Free or Die Hard with Bruce Willis, they made that movie into fruition, right? So we got to see it, and people go, that'll never happen. That will never happen. Now we are in 2024, and that is most likely to happen. Now, for something like that on that kind of scale to happen, you're going to need hackers sending out viruses or whatever the hell the Trojans or whatever it is to different systems, different communication systems, different computer systems, and then set it off all at the same time, or have it go off a little bit at a time, like in the movie Leave the World Behind. So again, this unfold, this is a nightmare for everyone who's not prepared. Hell, if you're in the city, it could be a nightmare as well, because things are going to get out of control very, very fast. Now, this, guys, could be a cyber attack that lasts a day, or it can last a couple of weeks to a couple of months. It depends on how far they want this to go. Now, a lot of hackers are, I would say, they have moral grounds, at least the couple that I knew. They have a moral ground, so if they did this, they would probably do it for a day or two. They wouldn't go past a week. And a day would destroy this country. A day of a shutdown, a cyber pandemic, would shut this country down automatically. The financial system would crash around the world. So just because the United States gets shut down with the cyber attack, doesn't mean the rest of the world's not going to feel it. The rest of the world absolutely will feel it, because it will bring down Wall Street, and Wall Street will bring down the rest of the world. Now, along with all of this going on, they can very well shut off the power. That's also a problem. That's why you prepare. You make sure you have your little generators, whatever it is, whether it's a solar or gas run. Make sure you have your flashlights, batteries, radio, the whole 9 yards, guys. Food, water stored away, because again, water might not be running, or water could be bad. Depends on how they hack the water system. If you have a gay man's car called a Tesla, that can be hacked as well. Or any car that's hooked into the internet can be hacked and taken control over. Now, with the Tesla, that's a bigger problem, because we saw in the Leave the World Behind where the Teslas were just driving themselves. Now, you happen to be in a car, this cyber attack happens, they hack into your system, they're driving you to fucking, Piscataway or some shit like that. You're like, why are we going over here? I was supposed to go fucking 2 blocks to get milk because you're lazy and fat, but instead of going 2 blocks to get milk, you ended up somewhere in the middle of New Jersey, right? So these are things that could happen. And these are things, guys, that there might be like this elite group of hackers that's looking to shut the world down, right? There was a phrase in a movie called Hackers with Angelina Jolie. She will deny this movie till she's blue in the face that she was ever in it, or she used to anyway. She used to admit that she was never in that movie. So the movie called Hackers, I think it was called Hack the World, right? That was a phrase that was in the movie. And they were like, hack the world and fight against the system. Okay, hacking the world and fighting against the system fucks everybody. Not just the rich, everyone, right? And the rich, guys, believe it or not, these people are ready for a cyber attack. They keep calling these, preppers and shit like that to get some advice on how to get prepared for the grand cyber attack that is undoubtedly going to happen at some time. As preppers, guys, we need to be ready. Now, as far as communication coming to a halt and not being able to reach out to people, this is where your plan has to be written down, and copies have to be given out to the other person involved in that plan, whoever it is. And you guys have to have a plan with a timetable on that plan, or in that plan, rather, sorry. So if, for example, Prepper Revelator, right, or Bear, Independent, if I was to head to one of those 2 places, or, Prepper Nurse 1, if I was to head to one of those 3 places, I would have a plan in place for each of them, right? And, well, not each of them, but let's just say I had a plan for each of them, right? I wouldn't, because that would be irresponsible to have them wait for me, not knowing which direction I'm going in. All right. So let's just say, let's make it easier. Let's pick Prepper Revelator, right? I'm going to head out to his place. He lives out west. On paper, we have my timetable of when I'm leaving and when I should get there, and a lot for another day or 2 to get there, because anything can happen between there and here and there. So I have to give him a day. And if I'm not there in the 5th day of when I leave, assume I'm dead, I didn't make it, I got lost, you know, I'm laying in a ditch somewhere with my family, something like that, it would be, right? And we would have a list of supplies that I have to bring to him as well, or a list of supplies that he should have as well. And we have all this in paper because, believe it or not, pen and paper. Also, you need to have a map in your car. Do not rely on your phone. I don't care if your phone's shielded and all this other bullshit. Have paper map, or the, what you call it, or what is it, the McNally's, or whatever that's called, that the foldable map in your car, so you know where you're going. And map it out ahead of time. Don't wait till some shit happens and go, how do I get to Prepper Reveille's place? I need to write that down and tell him my route to getting to him. So if he feels brave enough, or he's like, fuck it, they might be in trouble, he can get on the road and wind up looking for me. Now, keep in mind, there could be things that divert me from getting to his place, but I will give him the diversion plan A, B, and C. After C, I'm on my own. And that's, again, if he wants to afford the fuel to go look for me, right? So you still need to have this plan written out. You have to have the other person have it as well. You have to have the list of supplies, contact numbers. If you guys are using CB radios or whatever it is that they use in trucks now, if you have that in your vehicle and he has that in his home, that will make communication a lot better. Granted, though, you might have to be a little closer to be in contact unless they have a optimal radio system that can reach as far as wherever you are. And I don't know much about radio, so excuse me. But anyway, guys, hopefully that worked out. Hopefully you guys develop a plan, because nonetheless, guys, something's coming, and we're going to need a plan of some kind to get the hell out of the situation we might wind up in. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.